Times have changed. Fighting has changed. But the crowd, they never change.
Our main event tonight features pain!
They just get bigger. The human body can only take so much. But the steel never stops.
This is what it's all about! Let's make some money!
Well, Real Steel is the film of today. And I gotta say, this was a late summer movie, and I missed out on it. It's still playing, but to me and my friend Jeremy Sutton, last night checked it out. And so, and luckily they had it in digital projection. Thank goodness. So, but we went and checked out Real Steel last night. And I gotta say something. This movie is what Transformers Dark of the Moon should have been. It actually had a story to it, along with the cool visuals. I mean, we just left the theater. We were purely entertained. It does have a few problems with it, but man, this is what Transformers should have been. Michael Bay, what is wrong with... I mean, you've ruined your films for me because of the last Transformers movie. I'm sorry, but you did. And what's interesting is that this is by the same people. Michael Bay's not directing it. It's Sean Levy who directed Night at the Museum and The Pink Panther. So those are two completely different movies. This is a brand new venture for him. And I feel like he gets it right. What the heck? Michael Bay. Transformers Dark of the Moon sucked. Real Steel is what Transformers should have been. Again, it's a lot of the same people who worked on Transformers working on this one. The only difference is the visual effects house. But, well, some minor differences. Visual effects house and cinematographer. But other than that, it's similar people. It's Spielberg producing. But he brings on Robert Zemeckis and his crew. And it was just a fun movie. Why couldn't Transformers be that instead of this disappointment piece of garbage? Oh my gosh. Okay, let me set up what Real Steel is about. The Real Steel is about this guy by the name of Charlie, played by Hugh Jackman. He's a professional boxer, but this takes place in the future, and the boxing has changed, and cage fighting has all changed. Matter of fact, they've done away with like the WWE type of wrestling and boxing and UFC fighting. It's all done away and replaced by these gigantic machines that do the fighting for them. But these people control them by many different ways. One way there's remote control, another one is voice command, and another one is, well, I could spoil it for you. Well, I'm going to have to. It's pretty much spoiler alert here. Is that they have what's called, some robots have what's called shadow command, in which the robot has a sensor built into it that whatever the person, like say the person moves, the robot does the same action, and it looks like twins almost. It's kind of bizarre. And these robots basically are the ones killing each other. And the reason why they've been replaced is because that human beings can only take so much. And they realize that the people never changed. They still want these fighting, but they want to see destruction and mayhem and chaos and just violence. But it's with bigger and better machines. And they're constantly looking for the best machine, and there's this, well, I can't tell you that one. But then something happens to Hugh Jackman's character. He's kind of he's not the best of what he could be. He's almost like Rocky retired, but something bad happens to him, and he's basically struggling to make these robots work. He keeps buying and buying these big expensive robots, and he keeps losing them. But then one day it takes a turn for the worse. He finds out that one of his old girlfriends has just passed away, and that he has a son. And the son, they first meet at a custody hearing where the sister accumulates the custody of the boy. But in the state, and this takes place in Texas, okay? So in the state of Texas, the law is that the boy would go to the nearest of kin, unless that nearest of kin signs away signs away permission for the boy to go live, or the child to go live someplace else. And the sister is fighting to get the custody. And right off the bat, Hugh Jackman is a jerk in this right from the get-go. Oh, stupid chair. He's a jerk to begin with, and he does something. I can't really say it right here because it would kind of spoil what happens. But basically, he doesn't care about the kid. He basically gives him to the sister without any type of second thought. He just just sign the document. Get out of my face, But eventually, what happens is that he convinces the kid to stay for the summer, or the guardians to let him stay for the summer. For I forget what the reason is. Yeah, I do. Excuse me, but that would kind of defeat the purpose of sharing that. Let's just say that he's so bummed out that he needs a little bit of money. And so he basically keeps the kid for money reasons. And so he takes him into his gym where he rebuilds these robots. And the kid is very arrogant. He really doesn't he understands that his father is a jerk, and he doesn't want anything to do with him, and so he just says, you know what, I'm trying to build up actually, he does, I take that back, he does want a relationship with him. But he questions why the father doesn't want him around. He questions him really badly. And anybody that can do that to a child, How dare you? I mean, you shouldn't even be a parent. Check out my review of Courageous, and I'll tell you what you are not. Basically, I say you're not a real man. But then later on, he eventually, what happened is the kid sneaks with him, and he goes on these trips, fighting his robot that he bought, which turns out to be a piece of junk. But then he eventually, after that robot gets destroyed, they go out looking for parts that they can rebuild that robot on. And they stumble upon this old robot. It's completely destroyed. And so the kid warms up to it and says, well, what's wrong with him? And Hugh Jackman says, well, he's a piece of junk. He's old. He's an old style robot. He's no good. He's garbage. But the kid doesn't see it that way. So the kid takes it and completely restores him, fixes him up, and lets Hugh Jackman wrestling. Turns out he's the best thing that he's ever had. And then the of course, it's a typical thing, the son warms up to the father. But this is what Transformers should have been. This was a very entertaining movie. It's a very good movie. It's even, a worth going to late at night when there's no one in the theater. I mean, it's a very fun film. This is what Transformers Dark of the Moon should have been. If I was Roger Ebert, I'd be giving thumbs up to this film. It's a really, really good film. So go see it. Real Steel. Now currently playing, and maybe in a dollar cinema before long, but I can highly recommend it. It's got some great visuals in it. A better story. The only thing that really kind of bugged me was the fact that about the mother. They don't go into detail about that relationship. It just kind of, she died, here's the kid. That's it. I mean, I would have liked a little bit more closure on that, but Super 8. Check it out. So from me to you, see you later.